What's up everyone, welcome to day 4 of the At My Chord Melody challenge. In the previous lesson you started writing your own chord melody arrangements. It was great to listen to them and I am 100% confident that today you can move forward and keep writing beautiful arrangements. Moreover, in this lesson you will learn a few more tricks that will be very useful for this part of We Are the Champions and in general for the future when you will be writing arrangements totally on your own. Having said that, let me play the melody that you need for today. And as always, remember to pay attention to the chords. 4, 5, 6. There you go. Now let's work on the chord melody arrangement. So the melody note is fret number 8, F, and the chord is F major. You've seen this before and you could simply use this shape. 5, 5, 5, 8. But remember, it's good to look for different shapes. Let me tell you that when you have a chord shape that uses all 4 strings of the ukulele without open strings, you can move it up or down the fretboard. So for example, this shape for B flat can be used for C, so B flat, B, C, but also for F. So you have C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and F. So to clarify, you have 10, 9, 8, 8. This chord shape makes it easier to then play fret number 10 and then go back to fret number 8. All together. Of course, this is just a suggestion and feel free to look for other chord shapes. Remember to use ukulelehelper.com if you need any help. You carry on and you have this melody, 12, 0, 5, 7, and the chord is A minor. By the way, you can also play this melody like this, 12, 9, 10, 12. For this part, don't forget that you don't need to play a chord for every note. In fact, I would say only one A minor in the entire measure would do. Perhaps on the first note or even better on the second one. One more trick, sometimes when during an arrangement you decide to just play the melody, consider using octaves. So that means you play the melody note together with the same note an octave lower or higher. For example, for 5 and 7, you could do 2 and 5 and 4 and 7 and it will sound more powerful. This is a trick that works very well, especially when you don't have enough time to play more chords. For the next measure you have only one note for the melody, D on fret 5 and 2 different chords, B flat and E flat diminished 7. So all you have to do is find a B flat with fret 5 as your top note. And remember, you already used this shape. But what do you do after? Do you just wait? Well, when you have such a long gap, you can focus on the chords. You can simply strum them one time each, so B flat, E flat diminished 7, or strum the first one and play an arpeggio for the second one. Another thing that you can do is play something that another instrument is playing during that part. In the case of We Are the Champions, you could listen to the melody that the guitar is playing during this part and arrange it in chord melody style. In the next measure, you have this melody, 5, 3, 5, and the chord is G minor. This is quite simple. Decide which G minor shape you want to use and play the melody accordingly. Remember, this melody can also be played like this, 5, 8, 5. By the way, for this measure, I would use a chord only on the first note of the melody. In the next measure, you have 2 notes, C, fret 3 and B flat, fret 1. Each note has a chord. C goes with C major and B flat with C7. Here you can just use the most common shapes of this chord, as they will have the melody notes where you need them. Now let's move to the next measure, where I want to teach you something new. So the chord here is B flat minor, and the melody starts on fret 1. This is easy. In fact, you can simply do this. 3, 1, 1, 1. At this point, you're playing the melody on the A string, but at the same time, you also have it on the G string. Remember, this was the melody. One thing that you can do is play this melody using the top G string. So it will become 3, 2, 3. This way you can play the chord and the notes at the same time, like this. Remember, don't forget about the G string because it can be very useful. Okay, last measure for today. You have 0 and 3, which could also be 0 and 0. The main chord here is F, and I would say make sure you include it with the first note of the melody. For the second note of the melody, you don't have to play any chord, but if you want, you could stay on F, or even better, you can move to C7. Again, I will simply be playing the melody note, but in case you want to challenge yourself, give it a go. Your assignment for this lesson is to compose and record a chord melody arrangement of the 8 measures you worked on today. As you've probably noticed during this lesson, I avoided showing you exactly how to play things in certain parts. I did this because I want you to do it yourself and because I'm confident that you can do it. As always, for anything that is not clear or a part where you're stuck, simply DM me. Remember to play it very slowly and don't forget to revise what you learned in the previous lessons. By the way, if you're working on your own chord melody arrangement of a different song, I would say keep working on 8 more measures of it. And for everyone, don't forget to visit my link in bio or the description, depending on where you're watching this, to access all the material that you need for this lesson. You can find the tabs of the melody and also the chord shapes that I suggested using during this video. Everything for free. In your videos, remember to use the hashtag @mychordmelody and mention me in your stories or posts. So make sure you add @ukulelelovers1. By doing that, I can see your assignments and you'll have the chance of winning a wonderful Carla all solid mahogany tenor ukulele. Moreover, I will share your work in my stories and you will receive personalized feedback from me. Having said that, I'm looking forward to your assignments and I will see you in a few days with the final lesson of this challenge. Ciao!